All right, here we are, Impact and Influence Radio right here on iHeart. And today's broadcast is brought to you by Blinds of Sacramento, Sacramento's complete solution window covering experts. Give them a call, 916-790-8689. Now, today, we've got a gentleman in here, Carl Thornton Jr., and we ran into each other at one of the BizLink events.
Yep.
The Randy Peters event, the big one that was a few weeks back. And if you guys aren't aware, I'm going to give those guys a little bit of free airtime. BizLink, Dylan and I go way back. I actually just found his old recordings from the John Robert Quinn show, or was that the Think and Grow Wealth? I don't remember, but from like 2017, 2018, found his old recordings, and all these years later, we're still working together. And BizLink is probably one of the fastest growing networks out there, and literally bringing like hundreds of people to these events, and they're legitimate events. They're actually really good events, and Anna's great, and just the whole team is great. And then if you go to our website, AWEPRA.com, and click on upcoming events, you'll see all of the BizLink events that we're attending, as well as the other events in the area. All right, so Carl Thornton Jr., he's a marketing guy.
Yes.
Very, very sharp. We sat down at a Starbucks and picked each other's brains, and I said, you know what? I really want to work with this guy. So how are you doing, brother?
You know what, man? I'm great. Thank you so much, number one, for having me on the show. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I'm doing great, man. Everything is good. Business is good. Even though, we got a lot going on in the world right now, but, the ones that decide it's time to double down and dig a little deeper, I'm one of those type of guys.
Well, something that you have to keep in mind is, yes, business is good. Business is a little challenging. The landscape is challenging. Yep. You've seen Bitcoin down at 66,000.
Yep.
I don't know if you noticed, but Grant Cardone put his jet and his home up for sale this week.
Yeah.
And it's all over, the Yahoo Finance and the different financial institutions are talking about it. Everyone's starting to feel this thing.
Yep.
And what does that mean? Does that mean that we, that we cuddle up in a corner and cry it out, or do we get to work?
We get to work.
We get to work. Yeah. And what's really, really cool about this is the opportunity. The people who are not strong enough are going to dissolve. Yep. The toilet is flushing, and the people who are not ready are going to be flushed out of the business, and that market share's got to go somewhere.
Yep.
I've been in this game 30 years. 30 years I've been at this. And you'd think I'd be a lot wealthier than I am, but we're in a pretty decent studio, so you've done okay.
Pretty good, yeah, for sure.
But the point I'm making is this is a time of opportunity.
Yep.
And you're in the business of helping people find that opportunity.
Yes.
Talk to me about what you do, brother.
So marketing and advertising, right? So I've been doing this for about 11 years now. It's a passion of mine. And I kind of started off with just trying to run Facebook and social media ads. And I quickly found that there's not a real big ROI. We were talking about that, right? So you got about 93% of your dollars is going to lead to about, 7% of those are going to turn into leads, which is not a very good ROI, right?
So what you really have to look at is how much is that lead worth? If you're trying to sell cheeseburgers, it's probably not the right thing. However, if you're selling mortgages, you probably do pretty well.
Yeah, exactly. Depending on, if you got high ticket items, those 7 leads, you get 1 or 2 of those,
boom.
You're good.
Yep.
But, for the average business, I started to learn and understand that a lot of these businesses don't even know anything about marketing. They don't know how to they don't know how to market their business.
I know.
They don't know the first thing about marketing.
We deal with it every day.
Yep. They don't know the difference between marketing and advertising, right?
Yep.
And they never even set aside a budget. And branding, right?
Yeah.
And, they never even set aside a budget. Even if it's just a small budget can make a huge difference in your business. And then also, hiring the right type of person, to that knows what they're doing, right? Somebody that's just not trying to rip you off. Somebody that's just not going to come in the building and say, hey, I'll 10X you in 3 weeks, right? Or, they're running these courses and all that.
Anyone who tells you that they can do this, that, or the other thing with your business and you're not spending millions of dollars is lying to you.
Yeah, for sure.
The bottom line is if you can guarantee a return, or someone is guaranteeing you a return on your marketing, guaranteeing, why aren't they just going to Bezos or Elon Musk or whatever and going after the real money?
Absolutely.
Because it's a lie.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Now, if you don't market yourself, you're never going to get seen.
Exactly.
And so my saying has always been, you're either everywhere or you're nowhere. So you really have to just put yourself everywhere.
Exactly.
And people are going to know who you are and what you're all about. And they're going to either want to do business with you or you're not.
Yeah, exactly. And if you think about the type of marketing that there is, right? When you're stepping out, you're always representing yourself, whether that's a business card, whether that's a QR code, whether that's a wrapping on your car, whether that's, using other people's platform.
What
right?
you wear to work.
Exactly. Even what we're doing right now, that's
Correct.
marketing, right? I'll record it, I'll send it out there, I'll chop it up, and bam, we got some clips, right?
The other thing that's interesting about that actually is let's break this down.
Yes.
Okay, grab the magazine for me.
Yep.
Okay. So we're going to plug the magazine real quick, Impact and Influence magazine. But the point I'm making in this is you come on my show.
Yep.
And I'm going to be piggybacking my brand, my name off of you.
Yep.
You're piggybacking your brand and your name off of me.
Yeah.
But the more people that we work with, it's a compound effect.
Absolutely.
And so that was the whole point of the magazine is we can put it in print. Essentially, it's the same thing that we're doing right here,
Yep.
but in print.
Yep.
And so you have to do these things. You have to put these videos on social media, on YouTube, on your website, on all these different elements. You got to do the radio, the airwaves. You got to do the television spot, which
Absolutely.
essentially is just the internet now.
Yep.
And then radio is just podcast now. And then print, a lot of times it's just digital now, but we're still in print. And then your books and all of these elements, they all come together.
Yep.
But it's you marketing me marketing you, and see your people are going to then see what we're doing, and they're going to see all the people that we've worked with.
Yep.
And all the people that we've worked with are going to then go back and they're going to see what you're doing.
Absolutely.
And that's what all of this is about.
Yep. And, going through this marketing journey, I started to realize, and it kind of scared me a little bit, but marketing truly does run the world, right?
Oh, yes.
When you just really look at the essence of marketing, right? It's growing an audience and pretty much selling your audience to somebody else, right? And that's essentially, marketing is business. So, the very heart and foundation of business is literally creating a product, and then everything else after that is marketing. And, there's so many people that get things construed because they think that marketing is separate from business when it's really not. Marketing is business. It's the business of marketing. You cannot, like you just alluded to it a second ago, right? You cannot, get a product out there if you're not marketing your business. There's no magic pill. There's no.
Well, if you could come up with a brilliant idea, okay, you've got the greatest idea in the world, and you're like, okay, now I'm going to sell this idea. If you don't tell anybody about it,
nobody's going to know.
No one's going to know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
so it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then, there's a certain amount of confidence that's going to come with running a business, right? Even with marketing yourself, you have to, this day and age, I tell all my clients, you have to get in front of it. The days of you hiding behind your business or hiding behind your brand, those days are gone. People want to see behind the scenes. They want to see you in front of the camera. They want to see what you do. They want to see what makes you the expert. Because if you're not an expert, then why am I going to waste my time watching you do anything?
You know what's actually just came to mind, and I just found the solution to something that's very, very, and you led into it, and it was literally like an epiphany, and now I want to literally shoot a video on this. And so you and I have talked about it, and you and I have both had, it's a phase in a sense, but when we start to become successful, when we start to build a business and grow a business, what's the first thing that happens? We inflate our ego.
Yep.
And it's detrimental, right?
Oh,
it hurts our business.
Absolutely.
But here's what's really funny about it. And we go to these networking events, we see these people, and you and I both, I mean, I don't know about you, but me now, I don't get offended by people's egos anymore. I just laugh and I go, they'll grow out of it. It's a phase. But I was just thinking about it, and it's kind of like when you're riding a bike. And you get on a bike for the first time, and you're like, you're all over the place, and you're trying to figure it out. And eventually, it becomes really smooth, and you're able to do it. And essentially, that's what's happening in their business. Is the emotions and everything is fueling, and they don't know how to control because there's this instability, and that's where the ego comes from. And I never realized it until just now. Literally just now. It's just a phase of instability in the emotional element of where they're taking their business. It's a kind of a cross between being proud and pride and proud and fear in a sense.
Oh yeah, there's some cockiness in there too. But I like to use the baby analogy, and I'm glad you used that one too, because I like to use that one a little bit too. But think about a baby, right? When a baby's born,
100%.
They have to learn things, right?
Yes.
And it's instilled in them, right? It's a goal, right? If you're marketing your business and you don't have a goal, then you're going to fail anyway, right? So, like, let's take a baby.
And people are afraid of failing. Failing is such a wonderful thing.
Oh, my goodness. So we'll talk about this a little bit later. My book, Mastering Me, Myself, and I. Failure, the section on failure is the biggest section in the book because there's so many different ways failures, or not failure, just a fear, just in general.
Correct.
Fear of failure is one of them. But just mastering fears when it comes to just being a human being is probably one of the single most things that you can,
When I was a kid, all the kids on the playground used to do the jump rope. Okay. And I never did the jump rope. You know how they did they had the two girls and
the double dutch and all that. Yeah.
I never did that because I was always afraid of getting hit in the head with the rope
or getting slapped in the neck with it. I've had that happen.
Okay, but see, I never learned how to do it because I was always so afraid of what would happen. And of course, then I was never the cool kid because I never really had any friends because I wasn't going out playing jump rope. I wasn't doing nothing. And business is no different.
Yep.
Business is no different.
Yep.
And you go to the networking event and you see one guy sitting in the corner and he's afraid to go up and talk to anybody, and most people will just ignore him.
Yeah.
I go to him.
Yeah.
I go to him. Maybe it's because I'm a coach. I help these people.
Yeah.
I'm unofficially, I hate the word. I will never sell myself as a business coach because most of them are not coaches. But the point is that I see myself in these youngsters that are getting out there. I love it.
And you've been in the game a long time ago, and you just think about like when you first started out. These are our intimate thoughts, right? This is something that we sat down, we wrote down, we fell in love with them, right? And then now it's time to show it with the world. Like how many people get paralyzed when it's time to show the world?
When did you realize that you were an entrepreneur, like a real deal? Real entrepreneur, not these phony people that jump into an MLM and say they're an entrepreneur. No. You're either breathing this stuff or you're not. When did you realize it?
Damn, man, I think I'm still realizing it. To be honest with you, I think it's something that I'm always trying to catch up with. To be honest, you know what I mean?
But where was the first time? How old were you when you went? Oh,
yeah. Damn, probably about 30.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. Well, I'm 43 now. So it was about 13 years ago.
You were green pea, bro.
Yeah. But see what it was, and that's another thing that I cover in the book too, is the imposter syndrome, right? Because a lot of people have to get over this thing about playing business, right? Like you really got to dive and get into there instead of playing imposter.
Playing business is fun, man.
It is fun, you know what I mean?
It's so fun.
Figuratively, not literally though, right? So when you really like think back and you're like, damn, I really did that. Sometimes I have to sit back and realize what I've done. Like, oh man, I just landed this, or I've done this, or I've seen this, or I met this person, or I've executed this, or I facilitated this. And in the business world, sometimes we just don't even have an opportunity to sit back, relax, and then think about our accomplishments. It's always go, 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 go. I'm looking for the next failure versus, the next success, right? I'm trying to, we know failure gets you there.
Yeah.
You're going to experience failure.
You do.
Look forward to it. That's what I do. I just go failure, and I just keep it up. It makes you stronger.
Oh, it makes you smart. It makes you hella smart.
For sure.
So for me, when I was about 4 years old, I had this little magazine, and the bottom of the magazine had a line that went all the way across. And so I signed my name on every single page.
Okay.
So that was where it first started for me.
So you're an entrepreneur at 4.
Well, no.
You started your journey.
Sixth grade. Sixth grade was what it was for me. So sixth grade, I was taking Playboy magazines.
Okay.
And I know that I could get a magazine for like $4, and then I could cut the pictures out, and I could sell the pictures to the kids at school for $1 each. That was sixth grade.
Oh my God! I wish I had a button or something for that one, man. That's beautiful. That's a hustler's mentality, though, right?
And then it was between 8th grade, and I've told these stories for years, so people think I'm full of baked beans. You can go back through all of our archives, and I've told these stories for years. It's 100% true. But between 8th grade and 9th grade, I was in summer school because I had terrible grades, and I was in what was called high school transition class. So you're going from middle school to high school, and you're getting ready for high school. And so all along, I'm thinking I don't ever want to work for somebody. I'm going to build a business. I'm going to build a business. Yes. And so I started putting the ideas together for my first business, which was a skateboard business.
Okay.
And I knew all the kids at school wanted the latest shoes and the latest skateboards, and they needed trucks and and bearings and all the stuff. And so my idea was really stupid, but my idea was if I buy the stuff out of the catalog, I can sell it for a slight profit to the kids at school.
Yeah.
But why would they buy it from the catalog? But the point is that the thought was there.
Yeah.
And the name of this business idea in 8th grade was American Skateboard Supply, which is really cool. But the acronym was ASS, which of course is in line with a kid that's in 8th grade.
Yeah, for sure.
So the point is that that's where it all started.
Yeah, yeah. I think, you either have it or you don't.
Yes,
and I remember my first job, I was 14 or 15 years old. I was actually selling candy. Right? I don't even know why my parents let me do it. This dude hung these little signs on the telephone pole and had a number on there. Kids, certain age, you want to make some money, call this number. I called the number, and I'm going door to door selling candy, right? And it's like, I was always the top salesperson. I would trick myself into, hey, if I sell a certain amount of candy, I'll be able to get me a free box or whatever, and they'll just take it out of my paycheck or whatever. But, that's kind of where it started for me, though, because you have, going door to door. So marketing, sales, business,
100%.
It's all the same. So
that's where it started for you, 14 years old. So that's where it started, not 30. If you're either living this stuff or you're not. Your brain either understands this. If you read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, he talks about making the nickels out of plaster. I mean, that's counterfeiting. You can't do that. But at least his mind was working at 9 years old, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And you alluded to a certain thing, too. It's like when you come up with this idea, you want to have a market for it already, right? So essentially, you already have your target audience, right? You're selecting a product that somebody wants. You're solving a need. Now, most kids, I'm not sure. What you say? You're about 4 years old at that.
I was signing checks at 4. Fake checks, but yes.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't understand. Like the preparation for your business is probably going to be probably the most important thing you can do.
Oh my God, I just realized something. We used to, when we were in Colorado for our summers in Colorado, I would have been 12. And I was making toy guns.
Oh, wow.
For the kids. We would go out and play cops and robbers, and I was making toy guns. And I just remembered this. And I would make them, I think I was making them out of cardboard, but I would paint them gold. And of course, our hands would get all gold and everything because that's your play and you're sweating and everything. It's a terrible, again, another stupid, terrible idea. But I was in wallets. I was making wallets and guns out of cardboard. And I never sold any of them. I gave everything away to the kids, but the kids in the neighborhood. But I was thinking products. It just came to me, man. I've never told that story.
Yeah, and it's so always funny. The product, right? And I've seen so many business owners that just have the wrong product, right? It's either you're too late or nobody really wants it, right? So business is going to be, what need are you feeling, right? What need are you satisfying? What sort of a fear are you satisfying? It's all based off of fear. It's all based off of need. What are you doing with your product? How are you positioning your product to be of service or need that somebody? You know what I mean? If you don't have that,
people buy cars.
Exactly. They need to get
cars because they're afraid that they're going to look a certain way. They're afraid their car is going to break. They're afraid they're not going to be able to transport their kids. They're afraid they're not going to be able to afford the payment.
Absolutely.
I never realized that.
Yep. And then, and most people don't. Most people don't even understand or even know why they're in business. You kind of seem like you have a knack for it. You kind of you kind of survey what's going on, right? And you're like, oh, I can make a business out of that. Oh, you guys need wallets? Oh, I'm gonna make some wallets. Oh, we're playing cops and robbers. Nobody has a gun. Oh, I'm gonna make the gun, right? So it's always that need, right? That need needs to be met. The shoestring, right? Let's take let's just go shoestrings, right? And let's take it even further. The little plastic piece that are on the shoestrings, right? That's some sort of proprietary, ingenious.
What do they call those? What are they called? Iglets or something?
I don't even know. That's crazy. They even got a name. I just call them the little plastic things.
Let's see if I got it right here. Hold on.
Yeah, but
plastic ends on shoestrings, shoelaces.
That's crazy. If they that
AIGLET.
Yeah. Yeah. Ding ding. Yep. That's it. So I always, when I leave with that story, I always say the plastic thing. So they're iglets. Okay. The person who made the iglet, right? They just seen a need. They're like, man, my shoestrings came out of my shoe. and I couldn't get it back in.
Mm-hmm.
What can I do? They probably started off with some tape, right? And this is really the MVP. This is your minimum viable product. I'm spitting a lot.
Even thought about
I'm gonna spit a lot of game right here, right? Your MVP. The iglet started with probably some tape or something just to taper that off a little bit so you can stick it through, or wax or something, right? Until you're like, oh, that really works. Now we start to refine our product, right? Now we know we solved the problem. Now we take our problem-solving skills to market, and then we let the community or the people let us know where we need to go from there.
Very interesting.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Marketing is a crazy game, man. Because,
I love it.
Yeah, it's beautiful because it ties into so many different things, right? You have business, you have self-development, you have psychology. You know, we tackle fear, we tackle, how to build a product. I mean, it's literally, you start marketing your business, and marketing comes into your business the moment you even think about starting a business, the moment you think about being an entrepreneur, but again, my theory is we are all entrepreneurs, whether we are a business owner or not, right?
We're all selling something.
We're all selling something, right? Mm-hmm. If you're going to that job interview, right, you're selling yourself. Even if you're going to go work for somebody, you're selling yourself. I heard
that we got to sell we got to sell the kids the vegetables in order for them to eat them.
You do. Always. Mm-hmm. It's always marketing, right? Mm-hmm. So, I'm just, when I talk to people, I tell them that either whether you're getting a job, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're doing whatever, you're always selling yourself. And one of the biggest turning points for me was the moment I decided to stop being an asshole and started to educate myself. And I started to really dive deep into this marketing thing, because the knowledge that I have will set me apart from pretty much every other person that's out there saying that they do marketing.
You know how many people I've had come through these radio shows over the years that do what you do and have an understanding of what this is, and you have a thorough understanding of this industry.
Yes.
So much so you've got me quiet and thinking and reflecting and pulling up old stories, and I'm almost revisiting things that I already knew but I had forgotten. Yep. It's really interesting, dude.
Yeah. And psychology plays into it too, though, 100%. Right? Because we think we're so different, but we're not. We all go through a lot of the same things, maybe some more intense, maybe some less intense, maybe, we haven't went through it yet. But, to me, we're here to teach each other. We're here for each other, right? So if I'm going to take the time to, educate myself on this, I love to teach it. You learn more when you teach, right? So the people that are out there that are studying and they're doing things, if you're not going out and you're trying to teach somebody, you really aren't learning anything. You just got a whole bunch of memories in there, right?
I've got a friend who's, I love and hate the guy. Known him a very, very long time. Very wealthy guy. Mm-hmm. I respect him all to hell, but sometimes I just don't like him. And it's not that he's done anything wrong. It's that he's always giving me something to think about.
Yeah.
And it's almost degrading. And he's not doing it to hurt me.
Yeah.
He's doing it to help me.
Yes.
But I'll go 3 or 4 or 5 months without talking to him, and then I'll have a revelation, and I'll call him up. And I go, dude. And he go, see, brother, I told you. And I'll be like, oh, my God, you're an ass. And so he calls me yesterday, and I just whenever he calls, I look at my phone, and I just love it when he calls, because I know that there's something there.
Yeah.
And I go, what's up, brother? And he goes, hey, brother, how are you doing? And just a crazy man from Nepal. I just love this guy. I love and hate this guy, but I love this guy, and I'd give him anything. If he called me right now and was like, hey, whatever, I need anything. I need you to clean my house. I'd go over there and clean his house, whatever he needs.
Yep.
And so he calls me, and he goes, so how is everything? And I tell him where we're at and what's going on. I go, how's everything with you? And he tells me everything, where he's at. And we throw some ideas back and forth. And he goes, so I was thinking. And I'm like, oh, God. What were you thinking? He goes, you need to hire a big fancy CEO that can take your company to the next level and pay him like 60% or 70%. The first thing that comes to mind is, do you want me to give you my company, dude? He's like, you need to hire somebody that can make this thing like a multi-million-dollar company. Everyone's coming to me and talking to me about what you're doing and blah, blah, blah. And so the point in all of that is it's again, who we surround ourselves with. Yep. And we could know everything.
Yep.
But you need to have somebody. I was telling him, I was like, when if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Yep.
And so when I sit down with you, it's really empowering because I already know what you're telling me. I already know all this stuff. You're not telling me anything I don't know. You're reminding me of things that I forgot.
Yeah.
Because we get into our habits and we get in. You haven't said anything that I haven't already figured out. Maybe a little bit. You told me a couple things and I'm like, But the point I'm making is this is why you're good at what you do.
Yes.
Is the fact that you are just so full of information. When you sit down with somebody that may be getting into this for the first time, or sitting down with a veteran like myself, and you're like, it's just having another fresh set of ears and eyes, and that's where my buddy Gary comes in, and he's just, again, love and hate the guy.
Yeah, you got to surround yourself. Your environment sometimes. Unless you're this, I guess if you're not human or whatever the case may be, but the people you surround yourself with, your environment usually plays a part in who you are as a person, right? Or
Absolutely.
whether you are successful or
they
whether
call
you
it
fail.
the circle of 7.
Exactly, right? So, you think about somebody like, for myself, I didn't have like the best upbringing or whatever the case may be, and it's like, how do people like us decide one day that we're not going to be our environment? How are we going to, become an entrepreneur when the people that we were around at that time maybe weren't entrepreneurs, or maybe we seen, a bunch of poverty or whatever the case may be.
You know what it is? Honestly, we get to a point in our life, and some of us, we have a choice. Some of us say, I don't want to subject myself to this behavior anymore.
Yep.
And other people say, this is who I am. So you have a choice to make.
Yep.
And I've chosen to walk away from the people that have hurt me over the years.
There you go.
And I surround myself with people who empower me.
Yes.
And the thing with my buddy from Nepal, it's the same thing. He's such a positive influence that when he says what he says, he's saying it out of love.
Yeah.
He's not saying it out of hurt. He's not trying to hurt me.
Yep.
He's trying to help me. But if he gave me everything, I'd never learn anything.
Yep.
I'd never figure out an angle, but he's just nudging me.
Yeah.
And then I figure something out, and then I'll call him and I'll tell him, and he goes, see, I told you, brother.
Yep.
And the point I'm making is the same point you're making.
Yep. Yeah. And a lot of people want to be saved, right? They just want some wealthy person to come down
Government
and just
handout.
Yeah, here you go. Here's $1 million. Okay. What are we going to do with that $1 million? And, history has shown people that get that fast money like that, either you're a drug dealer or whatever the case may be, it's going to come with, exactly, it's going to come with some sort of a consequence, because you don't even know how to make that money. You don't know how to multiply. You don't know how to double that money, triple that money. You don't know how to make that money work for you because you just got it, right? And you're thinking you're wealthy, right? But then what happens to these people that win the lottery, or somebody gives them a bunch of money? They end up in more debt than they ever have been before in their entire life, and they can't even put up. They don't even know how to make $10,000 a month. You know what I mean? So really, somebody handing you something is more of a burden. It's more of a, it's more of a negative thing than it is a positive thing. Getting knowledge from somebody, though, on the other hand,
what you wish for.
Exactly. But when you get knowledge from someone, right, it's the same adage when you say, I can teach somebody how to fish. I can give you the fish, or I can teach you how to fish, right?
Yes.
If I give you the fish, you're just going to eat the fish, and you're going to be looking at me for more fish. But I can teach you how to fish. You can go out there and do it on your own, catch as many fish as you want. And that is a very true adage when you really take a look at it, though it's simple. But it makes the most sense, especially.
And there's so many of those analogies that all come together.
Yes.
All right, so let's dig deep into. We've talked about your book. We've talked about your passion. We've talked about history. Lead Igniter product. What is this Lead Igniter?
Lead Igniter. So my company just released this program called Lead Igniter, and it's what we're using to separate ourselves again from all these other marketing companies who just do social media. This is incentive-based marketing. So we have just the most, I don't even know what you even want to call them, the most premium incentives that we give our clients access to, right? We're talking vacation, complimentary vacations. We're not talking timeshares where you got to go to a hotel and you sit through a presentation. No, we're talking actually complimentary, where we can pick over 100 destinations all over the world. We're talking Dubai. We're talking Australia. We have like 8 or 9 different locations in Australia, New Zealand, Philippines, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, Mexico. I mean, pretty much the most beautiful places on earth we have access to, and we have those as complimentary vacations that you can offer your clients through our company. We also have what we call hotel savings cards. Now, these hotel savings cards act just like cash. So if you were to use our site, which is bookvip.com, we have access to over 1 million hotels on that site, and also rental cars and, entertainment. And let's say we were to give you the value of those. We have $1, $2, $3, and $500 hotel savings cards. We shoot to say I gave you a $500 hotel savings card, and you go onto the site and you're getting ready to travel to New York or wherever you want to go in the world, and you can use this just as cash. So not only is the hotel discounted already, like your Travelocity or Book.com or your other hotel booking sites, you can actually take this $500 and lower the price even more. So you can, essentially just saving you more and more money. Now, sometimes you won't be able to use the whole 500 just depending on, how much the hotel is, but you can take that extra money off, and it gives you a substantial amount of money off. We also have, as incentives, it's called a restaurant voucher. Now, you're probably old enough to remember. You remember those old entertainment books that we used to get from school, and we used to have to sell them, the $20. So those are now digital. So we have a deal with those guys where we can give those out complimentary as well. And we have those from $25, $50, $100, and then $200. And let's say I gave you $200 on that, and let's say you went to one of your favorite steakhouses and we have a deal with them. You can actually do a buy one, get one free, right? Let's say a buy one, get one free for a $50 steak meal or whatever the case may be. You just saved yourself $50, and it's only going to cost you about $14 out of that $200 that I gave you. So you still have about $185 to use as savings. So the savings are incredible. And what I really want to teach people and to let people know, like, this economy is changing. How are you going to separate yourself from the next person doing the same thing that you do when now your customers are shopping off a price versus the quality of your product? How are you going to make sure that person comes to you and say yes? And you do that by offering them some sort of an incentive just for doing business. Now, they're going to spend money with you, but you're going to give them something back that's going to have them tell their friends. So that's exactly what Lead Igniter is.
Very interesting. Okay, so how does this tie into your marketing company?
So it's all marketing. It's all marketing. So you can use this to generate leads. You can use this to close deals, generate more money, sales. It's a deal closing tool. For real estate agents, let's say, for instance, they can set up a referral program where the person that's giving them the referrals, hey, we're going to reward you with a referral. If you give me a referral, I'll shoot you a complimentary vacation to the Dominican Republic or whatever the case may be, right? Or if you have some other sort of business, right, and you just wanted to generate leads, well, how do you craft a message to let people know, hey, if you sign up for this form right here, I'll get you a $50 hotel savings card, good at over a million hotels, right? And it's really all about the messaging, and you really want to entice people, not trick them, not bribery, right? But we want to incentivize them for acting on behalf of your business, or not on behalf of your business, I'm sorry, but for doing business with you, or, some sort of an action that helps you in the long run, generate more sales.
Where do you want to take this company? Like, where are you trying to go with this thing? Essentially, if you're on Shark Tank right now, and Mark Cuban says, I want to invest in your company, I want to help you grow, where are you trying to take this thing?
You know what? That's a very interesting question, and it's actually a question I never really thought about, and that's crazy because the marketing industry is just so it's so diverse, and there's so many different ways you can go about marketing. Like, for instance, we do videography and photography. We do like corporate events. We do animations. We do logos and stuff like that. So it's not something that I never really thought about that, man. But if I just had to just kind of fly off the seat of my pants, I would want to be a leader in this industry. I want to be innovative in finding tools, not just to make money, but to help my customer, right? I want to create tools where, we're one of the ones where it's like, okay, not only did we take our customer to the next level, but they gave us a level of integrity. They gave us, the latest and the greatest tools, not only just to help our business get to the next level, but it helped us become a better business owner. Right? Because at the end of the day, if we can help our clients become better business owners, then that bodes well for us. And that means we're doing our job correctly. So if, in a nutshell, I would just want to be a leader in helping and ushering in a new form and a new way of business, and being, with technology and, even these incentives, these things can, they can change the way marketing is done as well.
What's your definition of success?
I'm gonna steal this one from Earl Nightingale.
Okay.
The progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Now, that's funny. I was thinking about this in the car yesterday, and a lot of people equate success to the amount of money that you have.
Right.
But to me, success is going to be like if I wanted to run a record label and I found out a way to monetize that record label and I don't have to make $1 million, but I'm getting up every morning and I'm doing exactly what I want to do.
You mean like I do with Impact and Influence?
Exactly. Then you're successful, period.
That's it.
If there's a school teacher that loves being a school teacher and she's not thinking about anything else, she's successful. If you're scooping up dog poop, which is a real business.
No, these guys are they're killing it.
Killing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they love picking up dog poop and they decided they want to make a business around it, they're successful, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're doing what you want to do and you're not at the mercy of anyone else and you wake up every morning and you're not worried about it being Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, or you're looking forward to the weekend
you send
or
me a
dreading
message. Hey, I see you in a little bit. I'm like, oh, bro, that's tomorrow. I'm looking at the calendar. I'm like, oh, crap. What did I send him? I'm pulling up text messages. No, he's got the right address. Okay, what's my calendar say? I'm like, man, what did I do?
Yep. 'Cause I don't really, most of the time I know what day of the week it is, man. But sometimes, you know how it is, man. We just go. We just wake up and we just go. It doesn't
Saturday
matter.
And Sunday is just another day to play with your stuff.
Exactly.
I mean, you're just playing with, just running it,
Exactly. So yeah, to me, that's what it is right there, man. Is if you're living out that dream, if there's a goal that you set for yourself and you wake up every morning and you're happy and you're thinking about ways to get better, even if you work for somebody, right? You can still be successful working for someone if you wake up and you don't dread it. If you wake up in the morning, you're looking to find ways to get better, and you are getting better, and you're innovative, and you're making it better for the people around you. Even if you are an employee, to me, you're successful.
Absolutely. And then, of course, what role are you leading at home?
Yeah.
You got kids, and the kids are being taken care of and all that stuff.
Exactly, yeah. So we got a lot of kids. Me and my wife have a blended family. We got 7 together.
Woo!
So yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
so
crazy.
I want to say you're lucky because you don't have any kids. You can just kind of get up and go. Me, I got to go cut my day off short. I got to go pick kids up and take them to soccer practice, basketball practice, football practice. So softball. So yeah,
no, it's so funny.
It's fun though.
I was talking to somebody the other day at one of the networking events, and he's like, "Man, you don't got no bags under your eyes." I was like, "Yeah, I make sure to take my nap every day. Around 2:00, I go home and I take a nap every day." And they're like, "How do you do that with kids?" And I go, I ain't got no kids.
That's why I'm fresh and clean, man. I just walk around just nice and fresh all the time. No stress, no nothing.
Oh, there's stress. I run businesses. These are all my kids. These things are stressful as hell, bro.
For sure. But yeah, man, kids are great though. They kind of keep you in line. They're a motivator, but they can also, you get that text message, your kid's doing this or whatever. It's like, oh my God. The crazy thing is, man, I published 2 books, and both of these books are on like creating the best habits and motivational, inspirational. But my kids don't give 2 shits about none of that stuff.
No. And they won't.
They won't.
No. Yeah. Just remember that, there's that saying, the one with the most toys wins. No, the one with the most toys has the most problems, dude.
Yep.
Let me tell you, nobody cares how much crap you have when you die.
Yep.
Nobody cares.
Yep.
So spend the time with the people that matter. Give the love, as much love as you can.
Absolutely.
And when you're doing your books, make sure you're doing it for you.
Yep.
And you're doing it to provide some sort of value for people.
Yep.
And that's all it is, dude. My legacy, my books are going to last for a long time. I have a lot of books.
Yeah.
I got a lot of books.
Yeah.
And I just keep coming out with more stuff.
Yep.
It just is what it is.
And that's the reason why I'm doing mine too. I really just want to help people, right? When you have something inside of you and you want
to tell the world.
You want to tell the world, man.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to share it, and you want to help, and you want to contribute to humanity.
5 Diamond Advertising. So
Yes.
5 Diamond ADCO. So ADCO. 5diamond-adco.com. 916-914-1415. 916-914-1415. Dude, thank you so much.
Man, thank you. This was beautiful. Great conversation. Usually I'm the one leading the conversation. It's good to have
Is it?
somebody else. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I'm going to have to get you on mine now. Now we got to reverse the roles.
I'm in.
Yeah.
100%.
Yes, sir.
Thank you guys so much for listening. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.